Travel news. Boeing airplanes are literally falling apart. Delta to raise checked bag fees, and Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas rescued 14 people stranded at sea. Today's top travel, airline, and cruise news. Let's get into it. This is your source for travel news from around the world. My name is Joe, and I will be your host. Sadly, our top story today is that 50 passengers aboard a flight from Chile to Australia on a Boeing aircraft were injured when the plane suddenly nosedived, sending passengers to the ceiling and then crashing back down to the floor. Chile and LATAM Airlines blamed the injuries on a technical event during the flight, which caused a strong movement. It has been a turbulent week for the airline world with a growing string of malfunctions on Boeing aircraft. On March 4th, an engine fire forced a Boeing 737 to make an emergency landing in Houston, Texas shortly after takeoff. United Airlines said the engine ingested some plastic bubble wrap that was on the airfield. 2 days later, fumes in the cabin of a Boeing 737 forced an emergency landing in Portland, Oregon. On Thursday, a tire fell off a Boeing 777 after takeoff in San Francisco, destroying a car. The plane was bound for Japan but diverted to Los Angeles where it landed safely. A day later, a Boeing 737 MAX rolled off the runway in Houston and got stuck in the grass. Wow, what is going on here? It seems strange that so many mechanical malfunctions are happening in such a short amount of time. The airplane business is a huge and serious business. They hate bad press and do everything they can to convince the public that flying is the safest way to travel. Honestly, they've done a pretty good job of convincing me of that. I'm not going to say that this doesn't concern me, but I'm not yet at the point that I'm going to stop flying. I do want some reassurances that the parts are being made in quality-controlled environments, the pilots are competent, and the parts aren't just going to fall off the airplanes on my next flight. Do you feel it's safe to fly after hearing all these stories? Let me know in the comments. All right, on to our next story. Delta is going to raise checked bag fees. That's right, if you're flying Delta on a domestic flight going to the Caribbean or Central America, the price of your checked bags are going up. Starting Tuesday, March 5th, the fee for your first checked bag will increase from $30 to $35, and your second checked bag will go from $40 to $45. Delta's explanation for the increase is that it will help Delta stay apace with rising industry costs. As a person that flies quite a bit, I get a little irritated every time I hear about another price increase from the airlines. $5 increase may not seem like a lot, but when you couple it with the price increases of flights in general over the past few years, it's just another way for them to pull more money out of your pocket. Will this affect the probability that I will fly on Delta? Maybe, but actually I really like Delta. If I can fly with them, I will, but if I see another flight that's a lot less expensive, I'll go with a different carrier. Will this affect your choice of which airline to fly with? Let me know in the comments. In cruise news, Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas cruise ship rescues 14 people stranded at sea. You heard me correctly. The fine staff on Icon of the Seas spotted a small craft with passengers waving a white flag. It turns out that the small boat had 14 passengers that had been stranded at sea for 8 days. Can you imagine how good the buffet on a Royal Caribbean ship would taste after being stranded at sea for 8 days? In all seriousness, I love hearing stories like this. It must be a surreal experience to be stranded at sea in a hopeless situation in the middle of the ocean and then have a giant mega ship like the Icon of the Seas come to your rescue. I would love to extend a big attaboy to the Royal Caribbean crew. Nice job, guys. All right, and here is today's travel tip. I feel inspired to share this simple travel tip with you all today. Wear your seatbelt on the airplane even if the seatbelt sign is off. I get it, flying is uncomfortable enough and the seatbelt just makes it worse. But if there's anything that we have learned from today's news, it's that there's a possibility that your airplane may just plunge into a nosedive, a wheel may just fall off when you land, or when you're taxiing to your gate, the plane may just veer off into the grass. So strap on, buckle up, and hopefully we can all make it home safely. That is it for travel news today. Always remember that no matter where you decide to go on your next trip, adventure awaits.